Something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was. Then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. You might remember this guy, Harry Styles. I covered him maybe a few weeks ago. He's he's from One Direction. Now he's being force-fed. He's hosting Saturday Night Live. He's all over the place to see this guy. And I showed you the tattoo markings on his body, which show his affiliation to the occult, from bird cages, and all the same crap that we see, right? Pyramids and all that nonsense. Well, he was on Howard Stern, and listen to what he had to say about running into Stevie Nicks so he could play her his song, and well, you can just listen for yourself.
And the other person you play your music for to get a vibe from is Stevie Nicks, right? I mean, I'm reading about this.
I played the new album.
Can you believe that your life has become that you can go to dinner with Stevie Nicks?
It was pretty crazy.
She's probably one of the greatest songwriters that ever lived, right?
So I just kind of finished the record, and then she said, "Oh, I want to come and hear the album," and she was with like all her ladies.
She's got a witch's coven, I assume.
A little witch's coven,
yeah.
And then they all came back to the house, and they're so used to like living nocturnally. They wake up really late, and then they kind of live through the night because they're witches.
Right.
And so it's getting to like 3 a.m. playing the album. I'm like, I'm kind of tired.
Right.
And they're like right in their prime. They're really like, oh, this is like daytime for us.
What is that? I mean, how does somebody stay up that late, especially at her age?
I don't know.
How is she pulling that off?
I don't know. They left at like 6.
That all must be a coincidence, right? I mean, where do we start? Other than the fact that you have Howard Stern laughing, like, oh, they're going to do magic spells at 3, a witch's coven, right? Oh, they're in their prime in the middle of the night. Notice how they mentioned even 3 o'clock in the morning. Boy, that must be a coincidence, too. I've only mentioned that 1 trillion times on my channel, and people think I'm insane. All of these songs called 3 o'clock in the morning, Eminem, 3 a.m., Hazley has a song. I mean, there's tons of songs called 3 a.m. What do you think? They're just like, I'm going to write a song about 3 o'clock in the morning. What about 4 o'clock? What about 1:15? Now, it's always 3 a.m. because 3 a.m. is the hour that is believed from, especially coming from ex-Satanists, that they perform these demonic possession rituals. It starts at 3 o'clock in the morning, these human sacrifice rituals. We all heard of the witching hour, which is known to be midnight. This is Satan's hour, 3 o'clock in the morning. And witches who pretend not to worship Satan are so full of crap, it's unbelievable. So I wonder if it's a coincidence, too, that the song that he played for Stevie Nicks and the Witches, he just released a music video for. And take a look at this. Oh, my goodness, is that a coincidence? Look at those floors. What wonderful floors, right? Gotta love those black and white floors. Please. And look at this. Oh, my goodness, that's Stevie Nicks. And she's on the black and white tile floor. So it's just me. It's just me. I'm just seeing these things. Nobody's sick of the black and white colors. There's nothing to do with secret societies. No. Freemasonry. No. It's just a preference. It's a floor preference. I totally get it. Right? Totally get it. Give me a break. Not to mention the fact that Stevie Nicks has been affiliated with the occult forever. She's known to be one of like the greatest, they claim, the greatest writers. She writes a lot of these songs. You don't know that she writes them, but and other famous musicians sing it, right? You know why? Because she's a witch, a high priestess, and the songs that she writes are all spells. That's why. She stays back in the out of the spotlight, and then she writes all these songs that puts spells on the masses, and they think that it's just it's great lyrics, and Stevie Nicks is so talented. Then Stevie Nicks, of course, she portrays herself as a witch in American Horror Story, and then they come out and they go wink wink. It's a fictional version of Stevie Nicks. even though she's got quotes, here's one from 1998. She says, "I totally believe in magic because my life has been magic and magical things have come for me time after time." Another interview, 1979. "There is always magic to be summoned at any point. I love to live in a world of magic, but not a fake world of magic. We are all really basically have a lot of magic. It's only those of us, that choose to accept it, that really understand it. It's there for everyone. That's the only thing that I feel that I'm able to give to people, and that's why I know that they respond to me, because I try to give them only their own magic, not mine, but theirs." Oh, very interesting. And there's more quotes. She's been interviewed and asked, "Do you think you're a witch?" And she said, "Yes." She talks about mysticism. I wonder if that has to do with bagel mysticism. Of course it does. It's just quote after quote after quote promoting magic, and then the only movies, she comes in and acts and she plays a witch in them, right? This is how they operate. And it's funny. Howard Stern makes light of it. Harry Styles makes light of it. He's like, "Oh, they're witches. Oh, they know how she's 70 years old and is up till 6 o'clock in the morning, right? They probably just came from a feast of probably eating Lord knows what type of fetus or whatever they found, or that's what they do, right? A little adrenochrome, a little baby blood, but we're all told that they're not. Look at all the pictures of Stevie Nicks dressed up as a witch, or with the witch's hat. It's all right there, but people are just like, "Oh, it's just a show. It's just for fun." Right? They're not really harming anyone or doing anything. Or they believe that these witches are literally outside, rubbing their faces on tree bark because they love nature so much. Oh, they're environmentalist witches. Oh, are they? They have altars in their home, right? This is why I always get worried about Christians who bring these stones into their house, and they're like, "Oh, but this stone that's supposed to bring good luck." It's like, you're now indulging in witchcraft. Get it out. They're like, "Oh, I'm saging. Are you Christian?" "Yeah, we're saging the house." Hello. But you see, these celebrities have indoctrinated them to think that this is part of yoga and internal therapy, right? Spirituality. All these words that they've used to trick and deceive. And that's what they do. They're the ultimate deceivers. That's what they are. They pretend that they don't exist in this world, but they show us that they do. And then they come back. That's why I always say, for Satanists out there, how embarrassed do you have to be? You go around, you do these rituals, even like the Satanic Temple. But we're really just a political group. Is Satan okay with the fact that you guys are embarrassed to admit your allegiance? Do you think anyone would really care this day and age if you came out and just said flat out that you worship Lucifer? Look at our society. People still wouldn't take it seriously anyway, but you still go, "No, there's no such thing. We don't really believe." You got to be pretty embarrassed of your God and your worship of Lucifer, your worship of Baphomet, but you can't even admit it. They're like, "Yeah, we're a political organization, all this Satanists," and then they roll out a statue of a goat with breasts and a penis. Hello? Is anyone paying attention? Apparently not. Apparently not. So Stevie Nicks, who continues to write and be a lyricist for so many musicians you wouldn't even know. You hear a song like by Bruce Springsteen, you think, "Oh, Bruce Springsteen wrote it." You go and you look at a lot of these singers and some of the songs, they're not written by them. They're written by these high priestesses, high witches. You remember the video? I know you might not believe John Todd, or you might think that he's everybody's skeptical of everybody this day and age, or at least people who are awake, I should say. But talking about what they do with the records when they bring them up to the CEOs of these corporations and they backmask them and do all that stuff, that's 100% true. And the writer, people are like, "I'm aspiring to write music." Good luck. You better be a high-ranking priestess in a coven somewhere, and I mean high-ranking, and you better know how to perform spells and song lyrics, because that's the only purpose that they serve. It's pretty unbelievable. This is the world we live in. So Harry Styles, all tattooed up with his occult symbols, good friends with the witch Stevie Nicks. 3 o'clock in the morning, what a coincidence that's mentioned. Hanging around, in the midnight hours where they thrive. They're 70 years old. I mean, what a joke. And people think all this stuff is a hoo-ha make-believe. Kind of like Howard Stern laughs it off. And we all know we're Howard and his bagel alliance, so there's nothing that needs to be said about that. Pretty unbelievable, right? Welcome to 2020, where witches run rampant. I want to remind everyone, please, check out my website at callforuprising.com. I've gotten some good stuff over there on the outbreaks and funny stuff, too, with, our friends who cry, ... cis, act, that have come out. So I got good content over there, and it's a great community. You guys can share information, share stuff with me going on in your town, interact, direct message each other, form friendships, prayer requests, anything. You can speak freely, not worry about being censored. So check it out if you have it. It's $2.99 a month. You can always sign up, try it for a month. If you don't, just cancel your plan. But I recommend you do. Also want to thank the patrons out there for your support. You guys keep my YouTube channel going, so thank you so much. If you're not a patron, please consider becoming one. And if you haven't checked out the Teespring store, please consider doing so. It's another way to help the channel. I want to thank all of you again for your support. You guys are the best audience on YouTube, and your loyalty means everything to me, so I appreciate you being here. God bless all of you and your families.